Hi, Douglas Simonson here, coming to you from Mexico with another series of drawing demonstrations. Today I'm going to be drawing 3 male figures. These are all pretty quick sketches. Each one took from 9 to 20 minutes each, but I have sped them up for this video. So here are the 3 images you're going to see me draw today. The way I practice drawing is I throw together a bunch of images on the computer. Some of them are my photos, some are just images I found online. I just pick a bunch kind of at random and put them in a folder, and then I draw them all one after another as they come up. That's part of the challenge. They're not all great poses or great photographs, but they are all challenging in one way or another. And just drawing them one after the other without spending a lot of time choosing one pose or another is also a good challenge. I just have to draw whatever image comes up next. So these 3 just happen to be the ones that turned out the best on the day that I was drawing and recording. So here's number 1. You'll notice in all of these drawings that I'm sketching in the entire figure before I start refining the lines. I sketch everything in, the big shapes, pretty lightly until it looks to me like things are more or less where I want them and fitting into the space of the page the way I want them to. And when things are pretty much in place, then I can go in and start refining, making the lines darker because I know they're pretty accurate. But that doesn't mean that I'm not changing things as I go along. As I'm drawing, you'll see that I'm changing a lot of stuff from the block-in because it wasn't necessarily accurate. It was just general. Now I'm getting more specific and I'm looking more closely at the reference image and getting things more correct. The things I'm taking into account when I sketch the figure out roughly are angle of the head, angle of the shoulders, angle of the hips. Hips and shoulders are usually at opposing angles. Position of the hands, and if it's a full figure, position of the feet. I'm also squinting to take in the whole figure so I can see where to position it so it fits on the sheet I'm drawing on. These are the basics you need to consider as you're sketching the figure. Now here you can see that I'm getting to the end. I'm almost done. This is not going to be a super detailed drawing. I just want to do something that takes maybe 10 minutes, and that's what I did here. So now I'm going in and refining the face and just checking out the position of stuff and putting into final details, and maybe, as you can see, erasing and refining a few of the lines just to get them more correct. And I'm almost done here. This is just putting in the final touches. And there, we're pretty much done. And that's the first drawing. Okay, number 2. Here again you can see I'm sketching in the big shapes first before doing any refining. This is essential if you want to be able to fit an image onto a page. You eyeball your blank page, then you look at the reference image and visualize it fitting perfectly onto your page. Then you take that big leap of faith and you put down your first lines, and they're never going to be quite right, but you put them down so that you have something to fix. That's really what this kind of quick sketching is all about. You take big chances and usually you miss, so then you go in and fix it. And over time, you have to fix fewer and fewer lines. You never get perfect, but you get a lot more confident. And that's the kind of confidence that not only makes you better at drawing, it makes you a better painter. I'm spending more time on this one than I did on the first one. Not sure why. Maybe I just liked the image more, so I got more caught up in it. The first drawing took 9 minutes in real time, and this one took more like 20. You can see I'm doing more erasing and just being more careful. This is not necessarily a good thing. In the end, I spent 20 minutes, and the drawing, at least in my mind, is not really any better than the earlier, more spontaneous one that took half the time. I'm always trying to avoid getting caught up in details so that the drawing has more energy. And with this one, I did get a bit too caught up in trying to make it perfect. and in the end, it didn't really help. I was paying too much attention to details and not enough to the big picture. So I ended up with a drawing that doesn't have that much energy and is a bit rigid. Here, for example, you can see I'm refining the face and the angle of the head, and yes, it's definitely looking better. But what I didn't notice until later, looking at the finished drawing, is I was so caught up in the face that I ignored the position of the head. To get that twist in the body, it would have helped a lot to have the head farther to the right, and it would have also been more accurate. Which gives me an opportunity to point out something really important in figure drawing. The position of the head can make or break a drawing. And here we are at number 3. Again, I'm starting out with the big shapes, and you can see just from the way I'm holding the pencil, I'm looser here and more willing to take chances. Less interested in making it perfect and more interested in playing with the shapes and having fun. That is always going to make a better drawing, in my opinion. I wish I could always be in this space when I draw, but hey, I'm human. The overall process here is the same though. When the big shapes are in place, then I can start refining, making the lines a bit darker because they're a bit more observed. I'm always referring to the photograph, trying not necessarily to get every line exactly right, but trying to capture the same energy, the same gesture, maybe even exaggerating the pose a bit to give the drawing more life. So here, what we're starting to see is a drawing where I didn't get too caught up in detail, but stayed focused on the whole figure and capturing the energy, rather than trying to copy the photograph perfectly. This drawing is far from perfect, but it does have life and energy and personality, and that's always what I'm aiming for. Okay, I hope you enjoyed watching me draw today and maybe got a little inspired. Do what I do. Load up your computer with a bunch of images and just go through and draw them as quickly as you can without judging yourself. Just draw. It's the best way to practice. Okay? So, after you have subscribed to my channel, go sharpen your pencil and go draw.